the American people want, George, is a discussion in this country of the real issues that are impacting them. And that is, they're asking why it is they're working longer hours for low wages, why we have a massive level of income and wealth inequality, such that almost all of the new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. They want a discussion to know why it is that we are the only major country on earth that doesn't provide paid family and medical leave, why they can't send their kids to college, why we have today more people in jail than any other country on earth, 2.2 million people, and why we're not investing in our young people in jobs and education rather than more jails and incarceration, why we are not dealing with the reality of who controls our rigged economy and a corrupt political system, which as a result of Citizens United is allowing billionaires to buy elections. Why we are not dealing with climate change, the great global crisis facing our country. All of those issues are more important than Hillary Clinton's emails, of which there is already a process underway to determine what happened.